They call me Diamondo.
What? So I don't know how many of you guys actually believe in hypnotizing, you know, like a magician or someone in a cape holding a little clock in front of your face. If you go on the internet and like look up hypnotizing videos, you can find all these videos of people that are actually doing this, like they're hired entertainers, just like a magician. And I, for one, like my entire life, I always thought these videos were fake. And I'm sure some of them actually are, to be honest. Like if you watch these videos of people getting hypnotized, it's really easy to just assume that they were faking it. They were hired to be someone in the audience or whatever. And so when they raised their hand, the hypnotist knew, you know, well, I'm gonna call on you and then you're gonna just do everything I say just for the act. And I always thought it was fake my entire life until a very recent experience, actually. So it was my senior year of high school and it was the very last day or whatever. It was actually the day we graduated. So after the big ceremony, all of us like handed our cap and gown and then our certificate obviously to our parents. And then we all got on these buses and this was called grad night. And I didn't really have that great of a night just because most of my friends didn't go. I mean, it was like our whole class and so most of the people going I knew, but none of like my best friends went, so I was kind of like a loner the entire night. And it's not that like the people going I didn't like or anything, but I'm just known as that like awkward nerdy kid that never leaves his room, so I didn't really have anyone to like socialize or like talk to that night. But there was one part of the night and it was the very last event because it was the entire night and it was the hypnotist. And basically going into this place, them telling us there was going to be a hypnotist, I was thinking, oh great, it's going to be just like a magician or something like that. We were all at like a restaurant, so we were all sitting at tables and she had us raise our hands for the people who wanted to be hypnotized. But there were a bunch of people that raised their hands. Me personally, no, because I'm a fucking pussy. I didn't even believe in this hypnotizing thing at the time, but I didn't know what the hell she was gonna do to us, so I was like, And she called up about 20 of them up on this big stage. And one of these people going up on the stage, some of you may actually know. For those of you who don't know, me and Red Doodle, or Gunner, we actually graduated together. We went to high school, we're in the same grade, and he was actually one of the people who went up on stage. Now, Gunner, if you're watching this, I hope you don't get mad, I'm just telling a story. But basically, these 20 people went up on the stage, and all the lights were turned off, and the only light in the room was this big light facing all of them. And she told all the people to stare into the light, and she told the audience we have to be extremely quiet while she's putting them to sleep. But after she put them to sleep and she'd let us know when, we were allowed to talk and be as loud as we wanted. The only thing we couldn't do was say their name because that would wake them up or take them out of the hypnosis stage. And then she had them slowly close their eyes and then fall asleep, and it was a really long process actually. Like it took like 15 or 20 minutes to actually get them asleep. And then there were also some people that were like kinda in it, kinda not. They were like halfway in that hypnosis stage or whatever, and she left them up there, but she wasn't doing anything with them. But the people that were in the hypnosis stage, she was doing some really weird shit, and I couldn't believe it. She would like describe something like there is a smell in the air and it is really disgusting, and the only way to make it so you can't smell the smell is to beat the air in front of you really fast, and they started doing it. Their faces were just disgusted. One of my buddies, Rob, was sitting there with a disgusted face like this, and she continued on to do a bunch of other really weird stuff. Like she took off her belt and then she would like say it was a snake and she'd bring it up to their faces and they would freak the fuck out. Now Red Doodle, or Gunner, he was one of the people that was like kinda in that hypnosis stage but kinda not. He was literally just sitting there straight in his seat with his eyes wide open, just staring straight into the light, and it was the weirdest thing. He looked like a fucking zombie. And so at that point what she did, and I shit you not, she gave all the guys this little lipstick and then like a little handheld mirror. She told them to put on the lipstick, and willingly all the guys would just start rubbing the lipstick all over their face. But Gunner, since he was still like midway in there, he didn't know what the fuck was going on. Some people were actually like really worried for him because he was like sitting there like a zombie putting the lipstick on. She had this like big bag of balloons and she had the guys put one balloon each into their shirts, and she told them that they were pregnant. And the guys would sit there and like cradle this little balloon in their shirt and be like, oh. Meanwhile, Gunner is still like a lifeless zombie sitting there with lipstick all over his face and a big balloon baby, and he's still just staring straight into the light. And so at that point, because Gunner wasn't willing to do everything, she had him go back to his seat with the lipstick on and the little balloon baby still in his shirt, and he went back to his seat and he just passed out on the table. And then because it was really late at night, it was like 4 a.m. at that point, and I was super tired. I don't really remember everything else they did with them. I remember she had the rest of the guys give birth on stage to these little balloon babies, and they'd sit there screaming. And then she had all the girls stand up and like stand still in front of the stage, and she told all the guys that their celebrity crush was these girls, and she told them they had the opportunity to kiss her right now. Like, she wants to kiss you, but there's like a 1-inch invisible force field around them, so they can't kiss them. And then she said, go kiss them. And I'm not kidding, these guys were sitting there like trying to kiss this this girl, but they couldn't get their lips like 1 inch off her because of this invisible force field. She also told them while they were asleep that they would laugh every time that they heard the word bananas or something like that. And so after she woke this up and they were unhypnotized and everything, they would still laugh every time they heard the word bananas for no reason. But so she woke everyone up one by one and they wouldn't remember anything at first, and she like gave them a mirror and the guys were like, why the hell do I have lipstick on, freaking out. And then she would snap her fingers to make them remember, and their faces were like horrified. People started exiting the building, and then everyone at Gunner's table was like, wait, what about Gunner? Because he's still sitting there just passed out. And so she brought everyone back in the room and she was like, okay, everyone stare at him. He's gonna wake up and he's not gonna know what the hell is going on. And she gave him the mirror to see that he had lipstick on, and he's sitting there like, what? And then she says, I think you got something in your shirt there too. And he pulls out a fucking balloon. He's sitting there confused out of his mind. And then she snaps her fingers or whatever to let him remember, and his face just like went blank. And I was on a bus with Rob, and he was telling me that like he remembered everything, but it was like something that happened like a long ass time ago. He said it was like a distant memory almost of like everything that just happened to him. And then of course on the bus ride home, like I said, everyone was just shouting bananas at him and he was cracking up, but that wore off eventually. But yeah, that was my hypnosis story. Gunner, if you're watching, I hope you don't hate me for telling that story. I just thought it'd make a funny story for the video. If you did enjoy the video and the story, please make sure to leave a thumbs up because it would be greatly appreciated. But until next time, guys, this has been Max. Peace.